We were appalled. Appalled. I don't even know if it comes across on the video the way it came across to us in person. It was incredible. It's incredible what these kids went through, I think.
Larry King was also there. He came in and we drank and did cocaine. I didn't do much. He turned me on to what Larry King did.
Drugs is a strong part of how they got control of some of the kids, because that's what some of the kids were there to get. They would do the sexual acts and then be provided with cocaine or whatever type of drug they wanted.
Heroin, you know, I don't know, but that was my drug of choice. Till this day, I remained an addict. You know.
And those of us that didn't like to be involved and didn't want to be involved were threatened.
Yes. Yes, yes. And who really threatened you more?
Larry King.
Did Larry King personally do?
And I think he did. And they threatened, you know, that I can go find somebody that will kill you, and I will kill your family. He hadn't told anybody.
Larry King was, I would say, the center of transporting the children around the country. The airplanes were usually in his name, at least in his name. They were paid for by Larry King.
We met them in Larry's Pasadena.
Met who in Pasadena?
We met when he was there. There was 3 boys that I had seen at one of the receptions at the country center were there. And I made positive their boys somewhere. I was positive. They were there.
You mean graduates of Boy Scouts or present?
I think they were present, they were young.
How would they get away after a long time?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Boys Town came up frequently during the investigations. We found it very difficult to get information about Boys Town. I was not able to find any information in my visit there, and Shakira Dory did not get information either.
Boys Town today remains unwilling to discuss its involvement with Larry King. We were banned from filming at Boys Town, and its public affairs officer refused any interviews.
I would have to give you a flat no. I'm just going to tell you at this point that we will not participate with you. We have no interest in talking to you folks. It's something that we don't even care to delve into.
By the spring of 1990, the Nebraska State Committee was convinced by the evidence of an organized child abuse ring. Its chairman, Lawrence Schmidt, sought the advice of his lawyer, John DeCamp. On his advice, Schmidt turned over all the sworn evidence to the FBI. But immediately, the videotape testimony was leaked to a hostile local media.
The media immediately started discrediting the witnesses. They were, the witnesses came across in the media, in the Omaha World Herald, especially, as the criminals.
The last 3 victim witnesses were demolished by the press, particularly the Omaha World Herald. The paper never looked for information that would support any of the allegations. The whole purpose of the stories was to destroy any credibility that these youth may have.
I've heard that people said that Gary Caradori coached me and that he told me what to say, but the fact was I didn't meet Gary Caradori until way after I'd already talked to the Omaha police about the abuse and had named all the same people.
Paul Bonassi maintains that neither the FBI nor the Omaha police took his allegations seriously.
And they didn't ask me very much about Larry King or even Alan Bear at all. They treated the allegations that I made about people who abused me almost like a joke.
The stories were of such significance that the investigators first wanted to prove the accuracy of the stories. As they set about the investigation of initially three, and then a 4th person who were telling the stories,
as the investigation developed, it became obvious to the investigators that the information was not accurate, that in fact it was an entire conspiracy of allegations, none of which had any truth to them.
I was very disappointed with the way the FBI and law enforcement treated the victims. They, in fact, turned them into the offenders, so to speak. And instead of taking the evidence that was delivered to them by the victims and interrogating the persons whom the victims identified, they seemed to bear down and try to get the victims to change their story.
It seemed to the investigators that the establishment of Omaha was closing ranks. Then Troy Bonner was brought in for questioning by the FBI.
The FBI's attitude was, just no. These kind of things don't happen. From the first interview when I went, I realized they don't believe the fucking thing I'm saying. They were just appalled. But I realized what that look in their eye was back then. It was fear. It was fear of it, I had witnessed, firsthand things that would, destroy this city. People, position, what I mean? It's not going to be believed, they said. It will not be believed. You will be found guilty of perjury. They weren't telling me maybe. They were saying, there's no way. You go on with the story, you're going to jail. That was said to me direct.
Troy Bonner agreed to withdraw his videotape testimony. The FBI used Troy in an attempt to persuade fellow witness Alicia Owen into abandoning her evidence about Larry King's nationwide network of powerful pedophiles. We have obtained the recording of the phone call made by the FBI on March the 9th, 1990. It is significant evidence for John DeCamp.